This gameplay is World Tier 3 Nightmare. I'm only level 52, all of the enemies around me are above my current level, and if you're paying attention to the HUD you will see that not only are my health and essence almost always completely full while in the middle of all these enemies, but I'm able to wipe them out with ease. Without any further delay, let's just get right into what you need equipped. So let's start with stats. For our basic skill, we're going to equip Bone Splinters, upgrade it all the way and have the Acolyte's Bone Splinters equipped because you want to grant yourself that extra critical strike chance. For our core skill, you want to have Bone Spear equipped and have the Paranormal Bone Spear node selected for the extra critical strike chance and the possibility of spawning more projectiles. The way I see it, the more damage that you can put out, the better, especially in the endgame. This paired with this ring here that has a perk that basically makes all enemies hit with your Bone Spear vulnerable. Next we have Blood Mist for survivability in a tight situation, but also because I have these legs with a special perk that will trigger a corpse explosion when Blood Mist is activated, which also reduces its cooldown. I will say that it is also excellent for ad clear. I also have Bone Prison equipped all the way up to the Ghastly Bone Prison node because it gives you essence and causes enemies trapped inside to become vulnerable, perfect for bosses or larger enemies that you don't want near you until you've taken care of a swarm of smaller enemies. Now the next perk I haven't seen many people talking about, and it's kind of overpowered, which is weird, and this perk is Iron Maiden. This perk curses the ground under enemies, and when upgraded fully you will heal when enemies who are afflicted with the curse are defeated. This is paired with this chest piece here, whose perk can cause enemies afflicted with Iron Maiden to become stunned, allowing for better crowd control. This is ideally the perk you want to press first before anything else, as you will want to curse as many enemies as you can before laying waste to them with other abilities, which will in turn stun them and heal you. Next I have all of these smaller bone perks activated and upgraded, as they mostly ensure maximum damage from any bone perks as well as increasing critical hit chance. For our ultimate we have Bone Storm, and when upgraded fully causes enemies to do less damage to you while also increasing the critical hit chance against them. Keep in mind our basic attack and Bone Spear attacks also increase critical hit chance, basically ensuring max damage when Bone Storm is activated. I also have these gloves here that will increase the length that Bone Storm is activated, as well as this armor which causes a safety barrier every time Bone Storm is activated, as well as this focus, whose perk causes shadow damage to enemies who are hit with Bone Storm. Altogether making Bone Storm one of the most powerful abilities in the entire game for both survivability and damage. And lastly, we have the Ossified Essence passive ability equipped, as it provides synergy and damage increases to any bone-related attacks. Now quickly, I want to talk about summons, or rather lack thereof, as you will want to sacrifice all of your summons for the bonuses that doing so will provide. Sacrificing Skirmishers will increase your critical strike chance once again. Mages will deal increased damage to vulnerable enemies caused by both Bone Spear and Bone Prison, and sacrificing Golems increases your critical strike damage. I also highly recommend finding the perk I have on this amulet, as it will greatly benefit the bonuses provided by these sacrifices. So the gameplay loop here is to essentially curse the ground under the enemies, then activate Bone Storm, then simply lay waste to all the enemies in your way. If you get into a tight spot, you have both Bone Prison and Blood Mist to provide you with safety net until Bone Storm is back, and keep in mind while Blood Mist is activated it's going to be exploding all the corpses that you've laid waste to up to this point. And then you simply rinse and repeat. This was a lot of information, and many of you may not have some of the armor with these specific perks unlocked yet. I can assure you that even without the armor perks, this build still puts in some serious work. I highly recommend doing the dungeons throughout Sanctuary that reward you with some of these perks so that you can socket them into armor, as you will find yourself constantly receiving higher level armor as you play. Hopefully this guide was helpful and will aid you as you take on more difficult content. That's all from me. Thank you so much for watching.